What's up? Hey guys, I'm back with another video today, sitting at my vanity. Anyway, I'm back. I'm here to talk about things that you should know before you get locks, before you start your lock journey, before you make that appointment, or before you get your cousin to do those twists for you, or before you do the twist yourself. I think that there's some things that y'all should know. There's a lot of things that I didn't really realize until I started my lock journey and was experiencing it, you know, firsthand. But before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also make sure you follow me on Instagram at Janine.Patrice. Okay, so let's get started. I have some notes here about things that you should know before you get your locks. It's actually not that long of a list, but we'll see if I even come up with any more while I'm reading these. But number one, your locks will or may unravel. That first month, honestly the first month of having locks, I find to be the hardest month. It's the month that like everything is still fresh. Your hair is liable to fall apart, unravel, and do all sorts of things when you're, you know, going through the process of locking, and your hair will get wet and you'll wash your hair, of course, and all of that stuff. Your locks may unravel. It's more than likely that they will unravel, especially if you have comb coils. Maybe I shouldn't say especially, because I don't really have an experience with somebody who has 2-strand twists to start their locks. But I know from having comb coils that I had a lot of struggles with unraveling, especially when it came to the ones on my edges. My edges were a little shorter than the rest of my hair, of course. And I have these 2 little antennas that I've shown you guys in other videos, but those were completely unraveled by the time I did my first wash. I think I was 2 weeks into my lock journey when I did that, and they unraveled. And I literally had to just like take some, you know, move my fingers around to like kind of like give them a coil again until I could get like my next appointment in, because at this point I wasn't really retwisting my own hair. But just know, and you have been warned, it's more than likely that your locks will unravel, and you know, just don't be discouraged by it, because it's not the end of the world. Your hair needs to learn how to do its thing with the locks, just like your hair had to learn how to, you know, form a twist out. Your hair has to learn how to form a braid out. I mean, if your hair is heat trained, it has to learn how to lay straight. Like, hair goes through training no matter what kind of training you're doing to it. So if it's not used to being twisted into a lock, it's not going to stay like that immediately. Your awkward phase is going to be weird, and embrace that weirdness. That awkward lock stage, which I do have like a video of, you know, my hair when it was at its most awkward peak. Like, my God, I was like, this is not what I really expected. I mean, I had watched so many videos about my locks being awkward before I got locks. Like how you might go through this ugly stage. I don't really like calling it ugly, because I don't think it is ugly. I just think it's awkward, and I don't think awkward is bad, honestly. Like, that's not a negative adjective in my eyes. It's just a little off. Like, it's not fully formed. It's not, you know, completely brand new baby locks, but they're also not just like, you know, with it yet. I just want to let y'all know your awkward phase is going to be weird. Your hair is just not fully formed yet, so there's going to be like lumps in it. There's going to be these ends that don't make sense. There's going to be like so many like texture things that's kind of like, oh, this is bizarre. And you know, there's going to be like a lot of different weird ways that your locks are forming together. It is what it is, and it happens, and just know that it's all a part of like how your locks will look in the future. Your locks aren't always going to look that way. So even if you are discouraged for like however long you are in the awkward phase, it's just all a part of the process. Another one that I wanted to mention was that it is normal to get discouraged. So it's perfectly normal for you to look in the mirror one day and not like anything that you see, and it's probably just because you're not used to it. I know that when I first went natural and I did that first twist out, I wish I could show y'all like a picture of my hair. It was not good, but like a couple years later, it was like I got twist outs down lock. Like, I know how they work, and I'm gonna like it's gonna be perfect every time, basically. There are gonna be moments in this journey when you feel discouraged about how your locks look or how you look with locks, or, you know, as far as like styling them. Maybe your hair is like an awkward length and it makes you feel like you can't get any styles out of it, but just know that it's perfectly normal. I come on YouTube and I say a lot of positive things about my loc journey, and all of it is true. Like, this is one of the best hair decisions I've ever made in my life, and I'm enjoying like every step of the way. But you know, every day, everybody has a bad day. It's impossible to live on this earth without having at least one bad day, and if you're extra positive, I mean, good for you, because I'm not that way all the time. So there are definitely moments where I'm just like, oh, I don't like my hair today, I wish I could just cut it all off, or like, you know, I'm just not feeling it, this look right now. Or sometimes you worry, like, do you look good? And so just know that it's perfectly normal to feel discouraged. There's so many videos on here about like loc positivity, and they're all great and all, but like, you know, it is so normal to not be feeling your locks one day, and you shouldn't be like, it shouldn't make you feel bad. You're not a bad loc person or a person with locks or whatever if you are having a bad day with your locks and you just don't like it and you're fed up. Like, it happens with any type of hair, honestly. We have our bad days, and that's just normal. Another thing I want to mention is that you should know exactly how you want your locks to be before getting them. So have some loc inspo out there. Save some pictures of some loc queens and kings out there whose locks you want to look just like, or, you know, similar in size too. And your loctician should be able to know like how to form that. Or maybe you can gauge, if you want to do your locks on your own, maybe you can gauge the size of their locks based off of the width it is between your fingers when you are making your locks. Recently got a question on one of my most recent videos about like, you know, what size locks. It was actually my awkward locks video. What size locks are these? I want my locks like this. Like, I think that's perfectly normal to do. So I know all I did was go to my loctician, and she asked me like, what kind of size locks are you looking for? I didn't want anything large, and I also didn't want them small, so I just said medium because I didn't know any better. I didn't have any pictures of like, hey, I want this kind of size loc or whatever, and maybe I should have done that, but I said medium size locks, and they are medium size, I would say. I think they're like a good amount of size for it to not be like too stressful for me, because I know that if my locks were any smaller, I would probably get a little bit frustrated with the upkeep and like how long it might take to retwist and stuff like that. I wasn't looking to spend that much time on it, so these are medium-sized locks. This is in a twist right now though, but yeah, my locks are fairly medium-sized. So yeah, I would suggest knowing what size and width of your locks that you would like. I think that would be helpful for your loctician to know, and also helpful to know like what kind of look you're kind of going for. Just spend some time thinking about it. What kind of look you want, what kind of maintenance level you want for your hair. All of that is like a huge factor with like, you know, knowing the size and kind of like what you want it to look like. Another thing you should know before getting your locks is that you won't have that much freedom with what you want to do initially. So if you get comb coils, or even if you get, well, I'm only going to speak from like a comb coils perspective, because that's the only experience I have had with starting my locks is with comb coils. But I know that with comb coils, you really shouldn't like wear loc jewelry with it, or you shouldn't be like pulling too much with it until they have like actually formed a loc. And that's something that you should know before you like venture out and start your loc journey, is that you might be a little bit limited with what you want to do with your hair, but also it's better for your hair in the long run to not do those things. But I also feel like if you do want to manipulate it more or add loc jewelry, I don't think it's the end of the world. I'm not that strict about loc stuff, but that's something to consider before you do get locks. Let me check where my DoorDash is because I'm hungry. I thought I heard a knock at the door. Let me check. Oh, Okay. Another thing that you should know before you start your locks is that your locks will behave differently depending on how you treat them within the first few months. As your locks are beginning to form, if you go to the salon and get it styled, you know, every month, your locks are going to turn out differently than they would if you were to like only retwist it or only retwist it on your own at home. I took a little break of like a span of months throughout the winter and I didn't get my hair done. So between October and February, I did not go to the loctician. I either retwisted it myself or I just didn't retwist at all. And so during that span, she said if I had come in, my locks probably wouldn't have dealt with shrinkage as much. They would be formed locks, but they would automatically be like elongated because, you know, it kind of like my locks would be kind of like stressed throughout the process of, you know, getting my hair styled every month. But she said that it's kind of good that I didn't get my hair styled throughout those months because my locks were able to form faster, which I completely agree with. If I had gotten my hair retwisted and styled throughout those months, my hair might not have been fully locked yet at that point. And that was reaching around like the 6-month mark. So the fact that I didn't really get my hair styled as much throughout those early months allowed my hair to lock faster. And I kind of liked that. So they were pretty much locked by 2 months, I believe. And, you know, it's not like locked to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, it would take so long to like undo them if I wanted to comb them out. But they were locked enough to like not, I knew they weren't going anywhere. That's something to consider when you start your locks, is like how often you want to get it styled and like how fast you want your locks to form, because the way that you treat them throughout those first few months makes a big difference. Okay, so I am done on that subject. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything about locks that people should know before getting them and starting their journey. Also, let me know about any like insecurities or hesitations you might have with starting your lock journey, any things that you might be nervous about, because it took a little bit of time before I finally made the leap to get my locks started. And it was different hesitations about different things, but now that I'm in it, I feel completely great about it. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe below just to get some more updates about my videos that are coming up. Don't forget to do those things, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!